Welcome to the studio on a Saturday morning. What I'm going to do is I just taught a lesson to my main man, Christopher, but I'm going to play here today. I want to try and capitalize, or I should say, maintain, I got into shape to play the drums for the Kashmir Zeppelin gigs. Bear with me here. This is hard for a 54-year-old progressive commercial type person. Dad, parent. Get on there, God. All right, stand by. Okay, hang on. All right, so now you will tilt. All right, so you might not see all of my face, but I do want to kind of put the drums out. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't want to see my ugly puss. All right, so here's the thing. So this is, it is rolling. So to maintain what I did to get in shape for the Kashmir gigs where I was playing the John Bonham drums portion, was a lot of the bottom engine, which I know I've been yapping about, but if I do that for a half an hour, let the microphone decompress. If I do that for half an hour, preferably maybe just 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, I'm prepared for any Zeppelin gig that comes along, you know what I mean? But then what that means, though, of course, I just do want to keep my, use it or lose it, right? So I'll sit here as I practice. I'll do the old thing I always used to do is from the snare around all the toms, just to really try, especially going back from my stronger right side to my left. So this. It's boring though, because what I realize, there are times I'll try to do that. Like, see how fast I can go? Well, it's really important, I think, to almost think of it like a monk would. Like in a cave. Like these weren't drums, they were just spots on the wall. And the monk had like just sticks off a tree, like carved down. They were just like. It is said to do this. I don't know. They just, like, imagine back in 1512, somebody gave somebody like 10 exercises to do with sticks and just hitting surfaces. Like, for whatever reason, person, I want you to just go. I'll bet if they did even every one of these, imagine if they did 2 hours a day each exercise, if they just went. And then, of course, or on a surface, and then basic things like I was doing before. Your engine on the rocks, and suddenly you transported them to a drum set today. They'd be out of hand on fire, which you see people. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to quit diversion to my attention span totally changing too. I think there's an approach a lot of younger people have today to technique, because I see all these younger drummers that have been playing drums for like maybe 2 years, but their hands are like, we used to ooh and ah over like Weckel and Kaliuta and those guys back in the 80s. We thought they were like from space. Whereas now the basic sort of paradigms of like technique and singles seem to be really good. And it's almost like, well, why wouldn't you play that way? You know what I mean? But in our day, it was like this thing. It was like, oh. So I just try to change the mindset when I practice. So instead of trying to do speed or anything, just the physical action that I let my body with time just get used to. And it's boring as fook. But therein lies the thing. See, that's the thing why a lot of us we drummers, I think, because a lot of we drummers are ADD-ish. You just want the action now. It's about the juice, right? Yeah, it's like, even on a drum setting, if you can't do all that wacky stuff, you can still be like. And everybody in the room be like, they'd be digging it. You know, you could just be like. You could do that for an hour and a half. let's say back in 1530, somebody went to, no, but what I'm saying is the basic rote action of just performing any action over and over again. I mean, of course, everybody mentions that before, but really doing it in practice sometimes can be very boring. I'm feeling frisky on Saturday, so. To harken back to the Zeppelin gig I played. I'm telling you, it's a full blast freaking workout. But anyway, so back to now, and I remember I have an original band, Dre, Deaf Right Ear, with Mike Saharsky and Mitch Deason, and your host here on the Bonzolium channel, Terry Keating. And we're cranking out the Jimmy Jams. In fact, here's what I'll play one of our songs. This is one of the Dre songs without everything else on top of it. See if you recognize it. Well, you can't recognize it now because it hasn't been released yet. Hang on. Get this gosh damn lid closed. Here it is. So remember, this is also part of the Saturday Feel Good workout. Relax. Play the drums. Remember, you have to be... Just remember Steve Gadd in that video. Remember how maybe he had smoked several grams of Afghan hash at the boat, but he's sitting there. What was he? He's like... Didn't he? Well, that's it, man. You get the idea. But really being relaxed. Like I was just talking with Christopher. We were just talking about you really have to be, seriously. Sometimes just like, remember, like, you have to be so like, remember, bumpy rubbery. And I'm telling you why. Because remember, the ultimate, I think, shit-kicking people that kick ass with the sticks physically going around surfaces. Remember, you're not just the stick, this doesn't occur in a vacuum, man. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, it's nice to have the fulcrum, totally, right? But what happens is this fulcrum itself will go up and down, right? Therein lies the thing. See, it's an undulating motion, not unlike a locomotive. Like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Clarence's purple Cadillac. All right, so here we go. So, and then I'll practice, not just going around the drums and stuff, or the usual, like, for 10 minutes, and I drive everybody here crazy. But I'll just play time. Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, without thinking of it like, you could think about it, put the timer on, like train like a sports person, totally, which is probably the most efficient way. But see, for me, I do have a hard time separating from my concept of music and drumming and stuff. You really have to do sort of, I think of like instead of thinking about a drum set, be like, okay, well, the bouncy, but right, you're gonna do, oh, you do play, okay, well, I hold this tight, like I know all the younger people, it's all the fingers and their hands seem to look like this as they whiz around. You know, Chester Thompson used to do that really, But with me, of course, I'm still doing the wasting mountains of energy, right? But it's just how I learned. Playtime. Yeah, 16's disco playtime. See, I jump around. I think, so if you do stuff like, again, I'll do this. I'll actually ask around some rudiments that I don't do that well, but it's a paradiddle. But I'll try to think like on a. You don't think that when they invented the paradiddle, which was necessary, because you really need not only just to turn everything around when you need it to, but it's nice to have that launching point. There's so many uses to it, but back when they'd be doing the drum like this, you can bet they were marching, man. They were just like undulating crabs. Let's do the undulating crab. Wait, I gotta play the unreleased song by Dre. Let's try to get the amygdala back in the cage. Get it back in. Okay, here's the unreleased Dre song. Def right here. Me, Mike, and Mitch. Keep looking for us, Dre, here, Deaf Right Ear here on YouTube, as well as more interviews. I have interviews coming. I'm interviewing drummers, famous quality drummers. Coming down the pipeline. Don't forget, I interviewed Ryan Jurovic on my channel here. Ryan Jurovic, vintage drummer here on YouTube. Vintage drummer at Vintage Drummer 79. Of course, remember there's PFOZ with George and the fellas. Okay, People's Front of Zeppelin. Of course, there's George Flute is slaying it at Bonhomology. Okay, and Alex Slavin is slaying it. Alex Slavin drums. Bonham also waltzes. The whole package. More videos on the way. Thank you.